Which way to look? I'm going crazy.
Yeah. Maybe
Okay.
it's okay to look one side and then
So I'm up, and the first. So I think the country's France. Is it France?
Yes, it is.
It is France. Okay. And so the first wine was the one I was least sure about. We got smoke here from the fire, so it makes my ability to smell go completely into the shitter. So I get maybe a slight sweet entry. I get some salinity on the palate. It's medium bodied. It's very crisp. There's no ML. There's some creaminess, and there's some tannins from skin contact. And so the question is it the salinity would argue Muscadet, though it's unusual to have this much skin contact on Muscadet, and so the other variety I went with is Aligoté. Aligoté can be like this. So then the second wine was sweet. It's got a good, what do you think? 50 grams per liter of sugar. And so I didn't get any characteristics of Chenin Blanc on it. For me, it was a fairly dark color. It's either Gewürztraminer or Pinot Gris. Probably Pinot Gris, but again, my ability to smell and taste is a little bit inhibited by the fire. And then the third wine, I get green notes on it, crisp acidity, hint of stone fruit, a little skin contact. I thought it was Sauvignon Blanc, and I went with Sancerre.
So I'm very close to it. Last one I was sure was Sauvignon Blanc. And then the first two, what am I thinking about here? Muscadet, I would be looking for more fat. But it's, possibility. This is where I sometimes go to Savoie, Jacquer, and those kind of grapes. But out there, Aligoté, which I hadn't considered until you mentioned it, is a damn good bet. Because it's got the meanness and the leanness that I like. It doesn't quite have the body of Chardonnay, but it does a pretty damn good job. I'm going to go with Aligoté. And this one, I think, is Pinot Gris.
Makes sense because I got nowhere there. The nose, I couldn't find anything, and I wanted to hear your thoughts about the nose on Aligoté because it was really different for me. Second one to me was kind of a Gewürztraminer one, I like. And the third one, I know we cannot have a Riesling on this theme, but it's pretty much like a Riesling. Of course, it's not a Riesling, but it's a Riesling-like.
Especially prior to climate
Master
change,
of Wine examinations,
they would mix up Riesling and Sauvignon Blanc. So
it's one of the most commonly done mix-ups.
Okay.
Sauvignon Blanc and Riesling.
Petro,
Right.
the Petro smell, so I was like, okay, it's not Riesling, it must be something.
I mean, the nose is right. It's a certain amount of herbaceousness, some stony, gravelly characters. I would like to see more, but it has that. A very slight hint of cut green grass.
You see, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's what I liked. It wasn't over the top. It was very elegant, and
I'm glad you interrupted because that's exactly where I am. I don't drink Sauvignon Blanc anymore because it's too obvious. It's in my face, particularly New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. I'm not arguing whether it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's in my face. It's overwhelming.
but this wine's not in your face.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's subtle. It took me a while to figure out it was Sauvignon Blanc. It harkens me back to the days when I fell in love with Sauvignon Blanc from drinking wines like this on the Silex and whatever it is soils. Stony, it's gravelly, it's very complex. It's not in my face. It tastes like a little bit like streets after the rain. You know, when the rain comes on a warm pavement.
There is a name for the
Ozone or whatever it is.
No, there is the molecule I was studying, but I forgot.
There's a molecule for that. The name for the molecule.
It's got lovely balance. The acidity is right up there. If I have any comment at all whatsoever, I would say it's very slightly bitter for me. I don't know if they did some skin contact or whatever. It's a very, very
Butter and
successful
then-
wine.
okay.
Yeah.
And I think also
Be more than happy to drink this on a regular basis.
when we were trying to evaluate those wines, we had the smoke from the barbecue, which
Yeah.
made it
Right.
very,
Yeah,
very
when I
different.
had my flight, it did.
How much did that one cost?
It's $50 for most of the bottle that I
Oh,
brought.
wow.
50 each.
$50 for what?
For
Each
the Sancerre
for-
and then that one and
And
then
Algoté.
even the other
$50 not for the three. 50
even
each.
for the
50
yeah
each,
even for the Pinot Gris was like 40 something dollars.
Yeah,
I
that
say.
Pinot Gris was not good for me.
Yeah.
May I try the Sancerre again?
I think it's
So what do you think about the Sancerre for this
Well-
one?
Just as Peter said,
Uh-huh.
it's not obvious, but it's elegant.
elegant.
It's crisp. It's mineral, and we had a fantastic spread of food here. It was fantastic with the food. I loved it.
Pretty much it's not from New Zealand.
Right.
So, I don't wanna
would you
knock
say
New
that they're
Zealand.
not fantastic wines from New Zealand, but it's just very different. And it says, "I'm cool climate."
It's more complex.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to drink many New Zealand Sauvignon
Yeah,
Blancs.
it's
If I go to a party or a restaurant or something like that where the hosts don't know very much about wine, and inevitably you find on the wine list Kim Crawford or one of those Nautilus entry-level Kiwi Sauvignon Blancs. And you know what? It's a safe bet. You get a glass of it,
And
it
it's
doesn't
good.
break the bank, it's very, very pleasant. It is what it is, and there's nothing to fight about it. It's great for that money. But you know, when I'm drinking seriously and I'm thinking, I don't want to agitate my gout. I don't want to destroy my liver. I'm not getting any younger, so I don't want to just have some percent of alcohol. I want to have something that I really enjoy, and
Right.
I'm a complexity nut. It's very rare that I will go with something from New Zealand. It's very rare that I will go with something from the New World, except today, old vine blends from the Swartland in South Africa.
Well, or Fred Brander's Natural Sauvignon Blanc.